Man, the emotion of the game had changed. They needed something big again. Here comes J-Mo. What a pass, Jared. Big time. The Lions leave Dallas with mixed emotions as they play their most complete game of the season, but have to leave behind their emotional and physical leader. Let's go through my report card for Week 6 and do a slimmed-down version of my grades for the Lions' decimation of the Cowboys. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Johnny Gaz. Thank you for returning for another video. With such a complete performance by the Lions, we won't do our position group detailed version of the report card. We'll do more of an overall view of the offense, defense, special teams, and coaching for this Week 6 victory in Jerry World. Let's go. Before we look back on this bittersweet victory, make sure to hit that like button if you dig the vibe here at Johnny Gaz Sports. If you hit the subscription button and notify bell, it's the best way to make sure you don't miss any future videos. There is a membership option available. We do our live game play-by-play reactions, tier lists, and a ton of other fun content, but there is always free stuff for you here all the time. I really appreciate your guys' most recent interaction. Make sure to comment down below what you think of the Lions' Week 6 victory. Can they recover from this Hutch injury? Where do you see the Lions' offense going from here? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get into this Week 6 report card. Lions get the dominating victory over the Dallas Cowboys here in Week 6, 47-9. Unfortunately, it's marred by the unfortunate injury to Aiden Hutchinson, really leaving you with a bittersweet taste in your mouth over what was the most complete performance by this Lions team over the last several seasons. This was a true offensive explosion. It now brings the Lions to 4-1 in the season, dropping the Dallas Cowboys to 3-3. Let's go through this report card in detail. At the end of the video, we'll talk about where we'll go with this Aiden Hutchinson thing throughout the rest of the week. Let's start with this Lions offense, which I think has turned itself into the best unit in all of the NFL. They can attack you from all different angles. Let's start at the top, of course, with Jared Goff with another fantastic performance in this Week 6 game of the week against the Cowboys. He went 18 of 25, 315 yards, and 3 TDs. He is looking controlled and confident. The shakiness that he showed early on in the season seems to have worn off. He's reading through his progressions and really throwing a good ball here. He was fantastic against Dallas. The running backs, hard to continue to sing their praises. They were fantastic again. David Montgomery coming off of the new contract, the 2 years, $18+ million, which will bring him and Jahmyr Gibbs along with the team through the 2027 season. They were fantastic yet again. 36 carries for the running back room, 184 yards. That's a 5.1 yard average. 2 TDs on the day, and again, David Montgomery looking so dynamic. I didn't think he could get any better than what he showed in 2023. Well, he is everything and more in 2024. The wide receivers also fantastic. 19 total catches, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns from that group. J-Mo, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then I got to give a shout out to Tim Patrick, who is getting more and more involved in this offense and becoming an important piece. The Lions' search for the ex-wide receiver seems to be over because they have found that guy in Tim Patrick. He made several key catches in this matchup against the Cowboys. The tight end group, not as flashy in this particular matchup, but we're good again. The run game helping in the blocking scheme. And of course, Sam Laporta had his 1 reception for 52 yards on that sort of double reverse throwback from Jared Goff, a really fantastic play. The offensive line, I think nothing happens without them here in this offense. With Frank Ragnow coming back this week, the starting 5 re-implemented, they were truly dominant. They controlled the line of scrimmage, a dominant run game. They protected Jared Goff. They only gave up 2 sacks against the Dallas Cowboys. They were really fantastic. Overall, I don't think there's any stopping this offense right now. I am giving them an A+ for this Week 6 performance. Now let's switch over to the defense, which again, I thought the Lions really played good on defense, and we'll stay away from the Aiden Hutchinson injury that happened as they opened up that second half, because even after that injury, I thought the Lions defense held up well, even though at that point Dallas had really given up hope. I'm not going to sit here and sell it as if that was some historic performance after the injury, because really at that point they were already up either 27 or 34-6. Whatever it was at the time. So that game was much so out of the question. But I thought the defense held up well throughout the entire game. Defensive line, 4 sacks. Of course, Hutch had his sack. But I thought the interior was really good. Aleem McNeil showed huge in this game with his 2 sacks. Dallas couldn't get any sort of run game going whatsoever. They had 17 carries for only 53 yards. I think Zeke had 8 carries for 17 yards. And the run game defense in general has been fantastic all year. It showed again here against the Dallas Cowboys. Linebackers were a little bit better, I thought, this week. I thought there were still some coverage issues. There's still some penalty issues. You had the defensive hold on a couple different occasions there, so the coverage is going to have to get a little bit better. But I think the depth in the linebacker room is showing. Guys like Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Malcolm Rodriguez, all guys making plays in the second half of this game. I thought Jack Campbell was really good. He had 7 tackles on the day. Alex Anzalone is always that steadying force, and it's really good to have those guys moving forward. In the secondary, again, I thought they were good in this game. I thought Brian Branch was truly the star of this, both offensively and defensively. He was a playmaker. He was all over the field, had the 2 interceptions, the forced fumble. Their safeties in general, with Branch combined with Kirby Joseph, just a true dynamic duo there in the back end. And although I thought they got off to a slow start in the secondary with CeeDee Lamb kind of getting off those first couple of drives, sustaining some yardage there, I really thought they came together. In general, the secondary was opportunistic. They forced turnovers, and I thought they were good. Overall, for the defense, I gave them the grade of an A- for this Week 6 performance against the Cowboys. Now let's hit on the special teams that had both some good and some bad. I think the really good is the fact that Jake Fox did not see the field whatsoever. The Lions didn't have to punt the ball not once against the Dallas Cowboys. Also good, Jake Bates. He was 4 for 4 on his field goals with a 48-yard long there on the road in Dallas. I think that's a good sign. He was also 5 for 5 on his extra point, so we feel good about that. On the negative side for the special teams, I thought their return defense was poor. They gave up multiple big returns here to Turpin, the Dallas return man. He averaged 48.5 yards per return and had the 79-yard long to end the first half, which actually set them up for points. So it is something to think about down the road. Overall, in general, I mean, when you don't punt in a game, that's really all you need to know about the outcome of a particular game. So although I'd like to see some improvement on their kick return coverage, I think they were good in general. So I will give the special teams a B+ for Week 6. Last but not least, let's talk about the coaching. And I think this gets the biggest grade of A++ for this Week 6 win in Dallas. And yes, of course, the offensive explosion, the creativity, the run game dominance, Jared Goff coming into form, looking everything that could be an MVP candidate here in 2024. The 2 running backs, the wide receivers, so much looking up here offensively. Defensively, they're opportunistic. They're creating turnovers. And I think the most important thing is they didn't let this injury destroy them in this game. And yes, I've talked about it, and I'll say it again. They were so far ahead in this game, and Dallas was out of it at that point that I don't know that it mattered that Aiden Hutchinson went down. I don't think it was going to make or break this game whatsoever. But the Lions could have went into a lull. The team could have shut down. They could have played tentative and played not to get hurt the rest of the way, and they clearly did not do that. This team stayed motivated. They knew what they had in front of them and knew what they had to accomplish, and they went out and completed that goal here in Dallas, winning this game 47-9 in a clear rout. You know, in listening to the after-game speeches, what came out of the locker room, everything that's transpired since the Aiden Hutchinson injury coming out of this victory in Dallas, I'm hearing a lot of good things from this organization. I'm going to allow another 48 hours to see what, if any, moves the Lions make immediately in the aftermath of this injury. But I think right now the coaches, the organization is playing this perfectly. Number one, we care about the health and wellness of the man himself, Aiden Hutchinson. He came out of the surgery successfully. They feel like he's going to make a full recovery, and I'm hearing reports that it could be within 4 to 6 months, which, if everything goes as planned and the Lions make an historic Super Bowl run, that would mean that there's potential that Aiden Hutchinson could come back for a Super Bowl. Now, again, there is so much that has to happen for that to become true. Number one, he has to remain and stay healthy. This rehab has to continue on, and the Lions have to continue to win. They have to continue to stack victories. They are playing in what may be the toughest division in all of the NFL in the NFC North, so there is so much still ahead of them. They're going to have to figure out what to do at these edge positions. Do they revamp their scheme? Is it next man up, or do they have to look on the outside and bring someone in for some help? We'll talk about that here on future videos this week on Johnny Gas Sports. I thank you guys so much for coming along for another video. Thank you guys so much for your time. Make sure to hit that like button if you dig the vibe here at Johnny Gaz Sports. If you hit the subscription button and notify bell, it's the best way to make sure you don't miss any future videos. There is a membership option available where we do our live game play-by-play reactions, tier lists, a ton of other stuff, but there's always free content here for you all the time. Definitely comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this Week 6 explosion against Dallas, 47-9 victory. If you're feeling the pain here of the Aiden Hutchinson injury, where do the Lions go from here? Let me know down in those comments. Again, thank you guys so much. More than anything else, make sure to take care of yourself and your mental health. That is most important. I want to make sure you come back and see me on future videos. Thank you guys again. Go Lions.